with number 1 here. What's my first step? Draw my line. Same as if I were solving, if it was an equal sign. What is different about this one than what we normally have?
It has 2 variables.
And it has a variable on each side. So I like to move my smaller variable to my larger variable side. So this is x, so I'm going to subtract x from both sides. These cancel. What am I left with on this right side?
-5.
-5. What is 7x minus x?
6x.
6x plus 1.
Subtract 1 from both sides.
I'm now going to subtract 1 from both sides. It's called doing the inverse operation of it. We miss 6x, -5 minus 1. -6. I hear one voice and one voice only. I should hear more than one voice. My coefficient is 6. How do I get rid of that 6? Divide by
-1.
6. Leaving me x and -1. Did I multiply or divide by a negative? No, so my sign stays the same. Alright, so when we come to our number line, it is blank. So I'm just going to start in the middle. And going to number a little each direction. Is this going to be a closed or an open circle? Closed. And which direction is my arrow going to go? To the left. X is going to be smaller then, so I'm going to be looking for smaller things. Anybody lost or confused in number 1? All right, let's look at number 2. Draw our line. I don't have anything to combine. I don't have x's on both sides, so I'm just going to work like normal. So I'm going to start with my -8. I'm going to add 8 to both sides. -3/2 x. -6 plus 8 is 2. Do I have to show that plus 8 on both sides? Yes. Will your high school teachers all expect to see that also? Yes. Will your college professors, depending on your major, depending on what you go into, expect to see that? Yes. That is a universal thing that you need to be able to show. Math is all about showing the steps. It's not always about your answer. It's about your process to get to that answer. Okay? So if you just skip to an answer, you're going to lose points in this class. How do I get rid of this 3/2? Okay, what's the inverse? All right, inverse isn't quite the correct word. He said flip that for reciprocal. Great, we're going to do the reciprocal. So -2/3. When I multiply times its reciprocal, it cancels, leaving me with x. Top times top, what's 2 times -2? -4. Bottom times bottom, it'd just be a 1 times 3. -4/3. Question. Anybody not understand what just happens? Yes, ma'am. Because if we make it into a fraction, we stick it over 1. Any other questions?
The sign, don't you switch it?
Right. Okay, did I multiply or divide by a negative? Yes, I multiplied times a -2/3. So I'm going to switch the direction of my sign.
Can I just do like for the number line like -3/3, -2/3?
So, good question. So where do we start on the number line? I'm going to go ahead and start with -4/3. And I'm going to do mine by thirds, because Because that makes most sense to me. So what is negative 3/3? That's just negative 1. Negative 2/3. Negative 1/3. I always recommend doing at least 1 or 2 on each side of the number line. Okay, we still want it to be a number line. We don't want just 3 numbers on that number line. Negative 5/3. What's negative 6/3? Negative 2, thank you. Negative 7/3. Open or closed? Open. And I want things that are less than negative 4/3. What's less? The left. Very good. Questions on that one? All right, let's look at number 3. Draw a line. What do we see first that we need to take care of? Parentheses, very good. So I'm just going to, for now, keep that 4x over here. And 3 times 7, 21. Subtract 3 times x, 3x. Anybody lost or confused? Want to move all of my x's to one side?
Add 3x.
Good, I'll add 3x to both sides. Leaves me with just my 21. Divide both sides by 7. Did I multiply or divide by a negative? No, so my sign's going to stay the same. Oops, sorry. Again, I usually just put my number that I'm working with in the middle. Open or close circle?
Open.
And which direction is my arrow going to go? To the right. All right. Questions on 3? Gotta move on. If you have questions, please ask them. All right, let's draw our line. Ooh, we've got lots of distributing, right? So let's get working on it. 5 times 4 is 20. Plus my 5 times x. Three times 2 is 6. Plus my 3 times x. 3x. Okay, what do we need to take care of first? Good. Does it matter which way I go? No. I like to move everything to my bigger side, so I'm going to do that. That helps me to avoid some negatives. So this leaves me with 20 plus 2x. This leaves me with just 6 because these cancel. Am I going too fast? Huh? No? Alright. Subtract 20 from both sides. Then we have just 2x. 6 minus 20 is what?
Negative 14.
There we go. Negative 14. Divide by 2.
Which equals negative 7.
Is negative 7. Did I multiply or divide by a negative? Well, here's a negative, but did I divide by that negative? No, I divided by 2, and that 2 is positive, so it will stay the same. I think one time someone pointed out it's whenever there's a negative with my variable. Alright, so -7 in the middle. A few numbers on each side. Open or close circle? Closed. And x is going to be less than. So which direction? Left. If I asked you to give me some examples of what x could be, could you do that? Good. Alright, number 5. They just keep getting more and more challenging. Alright, do we want to try number 5 on our own?
Yes.
Alright, go ahead and try number 5 on your own. Let's go ahead and look at this one. So I'm going to draw a line. Then distribute. So -4 times 3 is -12. I'm going to go ahead and add a line change a sign. Anytime it's a negative and a subtraction, I always do that. Just so I don't mess up on the, giving that sign. -4 times -x is 4x, okay? Oh, sorry. Alright, half of 10x is 5x. Half of 10 is 5. Any questions over this so far? Subtract 4x from both sides. If you went the other direction, it's okay. You'll get the same answer. It says 1x. I'm just going to put an x. If you put 1x, that's okay also. Subtract 5 from both sides. I didn't multiply or divide by a negative, so my sign stays the same. If you got that, give me a thumbs up. If you didn't get it at all, put a thumbs down. And if you were partially right, give me a thumb sideways.
Mine looks nothing like that, but yes.
Okay, I've got 2 people who aren't giving me singles at all. Zeke, I need to see yours. Kaylin, I need to see yours. Okay. Alright, so we're at -17 here. Okay. There we go. Open or closed? Open. And it's going to go to the left this time. Very good. Good catch. We tend to always want to put it the direction that it's in the problem, but remember that's not always the case. Those of you that missed it somehow, questions? No? Alright, then let's move on to number 6. Alright. Do you want to try number 6 on your own?
Sure.
Alright, go ahead and try it on your own. Alright, so we're going to draw a line. I'm going to start by distributing. -5x plus -15 minus 6. Go ahead and combine my like terms over here. -15 minus 6 is -21. Move my x over. I probably should have moved it the other way, but that's okay. If you moved it the other way.
-6x. And then you're going to add 21 each side.
If you put your x's on the right side, which is probably how I should have done it because that's my bigger x, you'll get the same answer. Alright, add 21 to both sides. -6x. 24. Divide both sides by -6. I should have alarm, whistles, bells, something going off in my head.